All right, all right, all right. Devaldo,
Yeah, that's
we're
it.
back again.
Teacher McConaughey. Teacher McConaughey.
Um, hey, listen, man. So, listen, we're back again for episode
Yep.
30.
304. You know you want more.
Oh,
You want more.
and that's what we do every week. We bring you more and more. Did you know what? I'm telling you, this is probably the best thing that people get out there. Do you know that we are consistent? We're every week, all the
Mm.
time, in your ears. Just stick with
304
us,
episodes is not a small thing, you know that.
Devaldo.
304 episodes. Yeah.
That's
From
mind
when
blowing.
we started this, we didn't even intend to do episode 2.
Exactly. It was going to
Yeah.
be a one-off, and and even I keep saying this, man. Even
Yeah.
across the waters, man. Here
Of
we are,
course.
like
You started here in London, you've jumped across the world,
the world.
literally.
I know I did a few
Like,
sessions when I was out in Chile, and then I
yeah.
then came
Oh,
over
yeah,
here.
yeah, I forgot about that. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you in
know.
different countries. Blimey, innit?
Exactly. I know. So listen, look, folks,
Mm,
thank you for downloading this episode. We've got you here on 304. And so we're going to be speaking about, well, the main movie is going to be a independent movie called The Substance. Is it an
mm.
A20? Is it A24? No, it's not A24, is
No,
it?
it's not A24, but it pretty much could be, yeah.
Pretty much could be an A24 movie. So stick around for that movie. And then if we've got time, we're going to chuck in a documentary that's out on Netflix as well. And also, obviously, we've got the usual stuff,
Mm.
anniversary corner, movie news and streaming and whatnot. So let's get into it, Deval. First things first, let's do shout outs.
First things first. Okay, let me sort out my sound, make sure that's okay. First
Yep.
things first. So, yeah, so we've got a big shout out, just one shout out today. Only shout out worth giving.
Mm.
And that is for Ciel Noir 3.
Mm.
And some people think, oh, they shout her out a lot, and blah, 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 Ciel Noir 3,
This,
you know.
that. Yeah.
But she gives us a lot of love on Instagram and social media. Like I mentioned, we've known her for a while now, a few years actually,
Yeah.
and very consistent with her support. So we support back. But not just that, it was her birthday.
Oh,
It was her birthday. So happy birthday to
happy
Ciel
birthday.
Noir 3. And yeah, go check her out on Instagram. You can see her birthday celebrations as well as all the other stuff she does,
Yeah.
performing, acting,
Acting.
presenting,
Yep.
music,
And
all
we
that
got
kind
to
of
get her
stuff.
on the show. Ciel Noir,
Yep,
you
yep,
got to come back on the show.
yep. We're going to have her on real soon. Just need to
Yeah,
organize that. But yeah, big shout out to UCL,
brilliant.
and hope you had a great birthday. So yeah, wicked.
Wicked. All right. Okay, let's get into the main bits of the show. So listen, let's do movie news. And Deval, man, I mean, look, I don't know if you're excited about this, but Venom 3 is coming pretty soon.
Mm,
We've waited a couple of years for this one. The second one, you know what, it didn't do anything for me. The first one wasn't kind of listen, it took a lot of money, right? It did a lot of money, 700-800 million at the box office, and people were like, shit,
yeah.
man, where did this come from? It was crazy, it was mad. Second one was turgid, and now we've got a third one.
Mm.
So this is it. This is kind of the end of Eddie Brock and Venom. So what's going on, man?
Yeah, so this one, so like you mentioned, I mean, me myself as well. I wasn't a fan of most of the Venoms, especially the
Mm.
second one. Uh, and this one is coming out soon, and it looks like it could be a big hot mess again.
Yep.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, what they showed in the most recent trailer is that the main villain looks like it could be Null.
Mm.
Yeah, null. You're thinking, what's null? Like
What
to
is it now?
nullify, to cancel, or
Yeah.
what is it? Null. So null is I think he's called the king of symbiotes, or the person that is the ruler of the symbiotes, and the symbiotes are what Venom is. Something that's symbiotic, something that
Mm.
can merge and transform. And Null is a really, really like from another planet, really powerful character, superhuman strength, all that kind of stuff. Whatever Venom can do, Null can do plus some.
Damn.
So Null is a gangster of a character, sort of big level kind of character. I wouldn't
Mm.
say the same level as like Thanos and those people, but the bosses that are of a stature.
Yeah.
So let's see how he's depicted on screen in this new movie that's coming up.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, Noel's a big character, not to be messed with.
Yeah, man. And then, I mean, there's rumors. Obviously, people are saying that this is going to connect into that kind of wider Sony Marvel universe type of a thing. So, could this then set up some sort of kind of showdown with Spider-Man at some point? Divaldo, are we going to get some sort of connection? Because obviously, we don't know about Tom Holland yet. We know he's probably going to come back for a fourth Spider-Man movie, but we don't know how it all
Yeah,
connects in. Do you think? I mean, what are your little birdies telling us? Do you reckon there could
I
be
don't think,
something?
I don't think, not even yet alone. No, I don't think even Venom could live with Spider-Man. Venom is too. You see Venom biting off heads, and
Exactly.
Venom
If
just
you
seems
read
in.
about his powers,
He's too strong. Like I don't
yeah,
understand. I don't think in the movies Spider-Man can live with Venom. No, so
mm,
I don't think they should mix. But
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
We'll see what happens with that one. So go check it out. Read up on that. I think there's kind of like what's that website? Do you remember this website that we used to go on? It was a Marvel kind of like a Marvel Wikipedia one. Do you
Hmm.
remember that one? It's like
Yeah,
you go. It's like a Marvel Wikipedia page. You put in any character,
yeah.
and it flipping like you find out the history, the powers, and everything like that. It's always interesting though that website. All right, let's move on. Now this one,
I think it's called Fandom. Is it called
that's it,
Fandom?
fandom. That's it, Marvel.
MarvelFandom.com. Try
That's
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
try that one.
yeah. That's a good one. All right, okay. So Charlie Hunnam, um, is he British? Charlie Hunnam, Duval,
I think he's Irish. You know,
Irish
I think
actor.
so. I think so.
Um, he's been in a lot of movies. I'm just trying to think what are the best ones that I've seen him in. Charlie Hunnam, what's he been in?
Wasn't
Gangs
he
of
in that motorbike
Anarchy.
kind of? Yeah, Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. He was big in that one, and he's done kind of
Mm.
like other little bits and pieces as well. But listen, he
Oh, he's
is.
English. He's an English actor.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah,
is
yeah.
he an English actor, right?
Mm.
Okay, so Charlie Hunnam, you've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's done quite a few things, and he's popped up here and there.
Mm.
Kind of almost like a bit of a Tom Hardy esque, don't you reckon?
Yeah, yeah. I'll say. Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
giving off a bit of Tom Hardy vibes.
Mm.
So he's in our movie news. Why, Devel?
Yeah, so he is. Yeah, he's a good actor. He's basically, and I like seeing this. I
Mm,
like seeing good actors who usually play the goodies be the baddie.
baddies, yeah.
And so Charlie Hunnam is set to play Ed Gein.
Ah,
Now, if I say to you Ed Gein, what does
nasty.
that? What do you think of that? Like, what does that make
Shivers.
you?
It's like shivering. This guy. If you've seen um what was the FBI one? What was the show? The FBI
Oh,
show,
the Mindhunter,
Mindhunter,
wicked
gives you
show. Mm,
an inkling of him and about what he did. Serial
mm,
killer, how he mutilated, how he kind of like killed serial. Like he was basically
mm.
a killer.
Yeah.
So what you're saying that Charlie Hunnam is going to be playing this guy
Yes,
in a movie?
that's what they're saying in Netflix. This was he was known as the Butcher of Plainfield in
Jeez,
America, and when I say butcher, he butchered people, and he even took their skin
yeah,
and
kept them,
used it to make like lampshades and all kinds of stuff like that. It's just disgusting.
yeah,
And there's been people like Ed Gein, serial killers like that, have been used as motivation for other serial killer films, like
mm,
Silence of the Lambs and all
yes,
those sorts of films. So yeah, so that's the news. So let's see how this happens. To see how like a stud like Charlie Hunnam can be
yeah.
transformed into a serial killer like Ed Gein. So it'd
Absolutely.
be
And
interesting.
you know where that trend started? It started off with what's his name, Zac Efron,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah,
played
yeah,
Ted Bundy,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then Quicksilver, he played
Mm.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes,
So I
yes,
think
yes, yes.
they're kind of doing this thing, Hollywood. They're like
Mm,
subverting people's perceptions
mm,
of kind of
mm,
these people. They look,
mm,
oh, this guy looks really cool and really like
mm,
whatever, and they're killers.
mm-hmm,
Like you know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying, which is reality. Like
Exactly.
it's like, and if I get to speak about the movie, the documentary that I watched, I can tell you a
Mm,
bit more about that. But listen, yeah, Charlie Hunnam, go check that out. Now, listen, these movies are still going on. The Conjuring, where I think you and I, Devel, we're fans of. Overall, there's been a few kind of hit and misses, but I think overall we've been quite kind of positive about the Conjuring universe. The
mm,
first one for me was great. It's a classic. Really kind of gets under your skin type of
mm,
one of those movies, Devaldo. And then you had the kind of the
I remember
nun
Enfield,
universe. Oh,
Enfield haunting.
oh man,
Let's not go
seriously.
there.
Yeah, exactly. So we've kind of got these really decent movies and everything, and then you had the nun universe. But anyway, so they're back again, the gang.
Yeah, yeah. So the Conjuring movies always come from a true life story type element.
Mm,
All of them. So the last one we saw was "The Devil Made Me Do It," and that
mm,
was the true life story of a case in America. One of the first cases reportedly where someone talked about possession being the motivation
oh
for the killing.
gosh.
The Conjuring 4 is going to be called The Conjuring 4 Last Rites.
Oh God.
Rites is like something that happens like in a sort of church sense when,
Yeah.
the rites, like, when someone's trying to get the spirit out or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to see the return of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Mm,
And we're also going to see new stars in this film. Ben Hardy, uh, who played Warren Worthington in X-Men Apocalypse, I want to say.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got Mia Tomlinson, who's also an actress. Uh, she's been in quite a few things actually. Yeah, so the
Mm,
Lost Pirate Kingdom. She's actually, I think, she's based in London
yeah.
and done quite a few different projects and so on. But yeah, both of them are sort of, I'd say, semi up and coming actors, semi
Yeah.
because they've been around for a while. But yeah, they're going to be in the new Conjuring film. So let's see how that is when it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised about this, but I mean, just to let you know, our listeners, 2.2 billion these films have taken at the box office with a combined budget of all these four or five movies or whatever they are,
Don't say that.
$200 million,
Are you serious? That's
$210 million.
that's a 10x on your money. It's a 10x as an investor.
Divaldo.
That's a good thing as an
Yeah.
investor.
So, now you're wondering, some of you might be groaning and be like, oh, another Conjuring movie, but that's the reason why.
Money
2.2 billion.
talks. Money
Exactly that.
talks.
Dirty cash, want you. Is it, like, seriously, man? Like, I mean, money talks. Like, oh my gosh. All right, okay. And finally, finally, Divaldo, let's speak about Danny
Yeah,
Boyle. Danny Boyle, British film director,
yeah, yeah.
successful career, Train Spotting,
Mm,
Sunshine.
yep.
Sunshine? No. What did
Yeah,
he do? Was
Sunshine.
it Sunshine? Yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah.
the space
The
film.
space movie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one
yeah.
popped up. Yeah. And he's done loads of other good stuff. And obviously
Mm.
28 Days. But he's back, Deval.
Yeah, Danny Ball. So 28, is it 28 days later? Was that the first film?
Oh, sorry.
28 days later
Days
was the
later.
first film. 28
28
weeks later
weeks.
was the second film. And now 28 years
Years
later is
later.
going to be the third film. And this is going to have an all-star cast. Cillian Murphy's back, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes,
Mm,
as well as others. But one interesting thing about this film, from what we heard, is that Danny Boyle is going to shoot part of the film with an iPhone.
it's mad.
With an iPhone,
Mad.
which you're flossing
I'm
the
familiar with these
latest
things.
tech, the latest
Exactly.
tech right there, iPhone. So with what you got in your hand, can you just imagine when you go to the cinema? Part of that film would have been filmed with that.
Filmed on this
With that, yeah.
gadget, this
So
thing that lives in your pocket. It's
there
mad
you
though,
go.
Deval, isn't it?
It's a computer in your pocket. I'm sure they're gonna do, special effects and
Yeah.
touch ups afterwards, but
Yeah.
still to have that as the main principal, photographer of the
Mm.
film, that's a big thing. And we saw that with what's that film? Soderbergh film,
Yeah. The one that we spoke
Unsane.
about. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Unsane. That was filmed all on iPhone.
Yeah.
That's a great film. If you haven't seen Unsane, go and
It's
watch
really good.
Unsane.
And
Really good film.
that kind of guerrilla filmmaking style where, shoot from the
Mm,
hip, you don't need to kind of
mm,
ask for permission type of a thing. And you maybe, I don't know, you're want to film on the tube or something, like,
mm,
you just get out your phone and get those
yeah.
shots type of thing. And I've
Mm.
always said, Divaldo, listen, look, when you and I write this movie that we're going to write, we're going to be the next Russos on this. I'm telling you, Divaldo, and we're going to make it on one of these things,
Yeah,
folks.
let's do it, man.
You,
Let's do
you
it.
heard it.
do it.
You've heard it
Let's do
on
it.
the
Let's
Flixters.
do it.
So that's interesting. So I'm looking forward to that one. So Deval, what do you reckon for release date for 28 years later?
Is it even 28 years later? The first one was 2002. 28
Okay.
years later would actually make it 2030.
Oh,
But
geez.
I think it's
Yeah.
going to come out this year. No, sorry, next year. Next year.
Next year, right?
2025. Yeah,
Yeah,
2025.
2025. I think so. I think so as well. Yeah, get them in. So listen, yeah, go check that out. And like Deval mentioned, All Star Cast, and we'll keep you posted. Keep it up with the Fixters. Remember, like, subscribe us, join us on YouTube. Watch this episode if you want.
Mhm.
If you're not listening to it on your wherever you get your podcast. All right, okay, let's do new one streaming. Yes, Deval, let's speak about this. So I haven't seen this. Maybe you have. I don't know, and maybe our listeners have. But Penguin, which is the kind of which is the
Sorry,
kind
walks.
of we introduced the Penguin, Colin Farrell as the
Yeah.
Penguin in the movie The Batman,
Hmm.
and at the end of that movie, the Penguin's kind of he's kind of taking over, right? He's kind of
Trying to
how did they leave it? Yeah,
set things in motion
things
because
exactly.
in the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, it's all about crime bosses, and there's also like a serial killer who's trying to get even at all the corruption. Lots of
Yeah.
corruption going on, and within that, in the movie, there's the the crime bosses. There's a shift in power. Some crime bosses are killed, and this happens. They're exposed, and the Penguin sees his opportunity when there's lots of turmoil for there to be a shift in power,
Mm,
power struggle. Yeah, he wants to make his move. So the Penguin show is a spin-off from the movie, and Colin Farrell is there now trying to pick up the pieces and run the city
yeah.
himself. So the Penguin, I've seen the first episode. It's good. It's on HBO
Mm,
in America. In the UK, it's on Sky
yep.
TV. So yeah, it's good. Good to see because HBO. You know how HBO does its thing.
You know how
So
they
yeah,
roll.
it's a good show. I ain't gonna lie. So far, it's good. It's very grounded. No capes. No one's flying around. It's all
Yeah.
about crime. Gritty.
That's what I like.
Gritty.
Do you reckon the
Mm.
last episode in the last scene, we get like
Batman or someone.
another
I
major
was
character,
I was thinking about that, and I wouldn't put it past them. But as long as it's not predominantly part
like
of
a
it, and just
teaser?
yeah, I can live with that. I can live with that.
Hmm.
I can live with that. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
it would be interesting to kind of cap that all
Mm.
off. All right, okay, and that kind of bridges us between the next Batman movie, which Deval I think is coming out next year, right? Or Batman Part
I
Two.
think so. I think so. Yeah, yeah. I think it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
So it could kind of bridge that little gap,
Mm.
and we'll kind of figure out what happens. All right, okay. Something else which has just been released, like this, what, on Friday, I think, or Thursday, whatever it was, is Agatha All Along, which is kind of on Disney Plus, and people might be wondering, like shit, it's been pretty quiet on the Marvel front. So we had Deadpool and Wolverine, which is going to be the main movie that was come out from Marvel, and then we've got this show, and this kind of bridges the gap between what happens after WandaVision
Yep.
and
One Division.
the movie, the Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange, and Multiverse of Madness is linked to that as well.
Yeah.
So I've seen
So
one episode of this one
and
as well, and it starts off pretty much similarly to how One Division starts off, where
okay.
something's not right. Like the main character seems like they're in the dreamland and they're not really waking up to it, and bit by bit they wake up to it. So Agatha Harkness, I think One Division put a spell on her to make her stay within that town, and then
Oh, I
when we see
gotcha.
her, she's still under that spell. And then obviously, no spoilers, but she's going to come
Yeah.
out of that spell, become herself, and then the quest or the journey continues. And that's where I'm at the
Okay.
moment. So far, 2 episodes have been released.
Yeah.
So yeah, so far I'm with Marvel right now. You know me, I don't
Yeah.
expect much.
Yep.
I expect this to be sort of average, and we'll see how it goes.
Mm.
It'll be fun, I'm sure. So yeah, let's see what happens with
Let's
this.
see what happens. I want it.
Yeah.
Does it have vibes that it connects in with anything else that we could be expecting later on down the line
No, so far very much like you said, One Division and Doctor Strange.
within that kind of mini
Yeah,
universe
that's
that
where
we're
it
in?
is. That's where I think it should stay because
Mm.
when it comes to magic, you can't be linking magic with Cap or magic with Guardians or
Yeah.
magic. It kind of has its lane.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would maybe think. mm, the Blade world might link in, or
Mm,
something to do with it, or like the guy from what's his
Game of
name?
Thrones.
Yeah, what's his character?
Ebony
Ebony
with
Blade.
the ebony
Yeah,
blade.
Ebony Blade. Yeah. So from the Eternals,
Yeah,
Jon Snow from the Eternals, his character I think might have a little bit of a say in the sort of magical realm.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens with that one. Yeah, I mean, look, I will watch it, but I
Mm,
wasn't one of those things where I was immediately like, okay, it's Thursday, I've got to watch this now. I want to see
mm,
the
mm,
premiere type
mm,
of thing like that. Um, so yeah, I mean that's from me. But anyway, go check it out. It's on Disney Plus, and go check out Penguin. That's on HBO and
mm.
on Sky in the UK and wherever you are in the world. I'm pretty sure you'll find it. All right, let's do new trailers now. This one, Devaldo. Now, is this Mickley or is it Mickey?
This is Mickey.
I had to double check. So
Mickey.
yeah, so this is Mickey. So tell us about this one,
Mm.
Deval.
Yeah, so Mickey is a interesting film actually.
Mm,
Mickey stars Robert Pattinson,
okay. Oh,
and this is a film directed by June. Oh, I'm gonna say his name wrong. June Bong Ho,
oh, is he the guy from not Bullet Train? The other
the
train
guy
movie.
from from Snowpiercer.
Yes, no, it's not him, is it? Bong
No, it's
Joon-ho?
the one that done Parasite.
Parasite.
Yes, yes,
Got
yes,
it. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting film. It's a film about clones
Mm,
and the future and space travel.
yeah.
So they're basically trying to colonize an ice planet, and in doing so, they want to obviously space is not for humans, and they're trying to
Mm,
make sure they can, you know, navigate space, and by doing so, they're trying to create clones
yep.
and stuff like that. And yeah, Robert Pattinson's a clone who like it's called Mickey 17, so there's at least 17 of them,
Jesus.
and we're going to see how they interact with each other when they probably shouldn't.
Yep.
So this has got Robert Pattinson, Tony Collette, and again a star we're seeing often, Naomi Aki.
She's gonna be big, man.
She's yeah, exactly. Mark Ruffalo's in this. Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead.
Mm,
So, like I mentioned, it is directed by Bong Joon Ho from
yeah.
Parasite and so on.
Mm,
So, yeah, this looks like an interesting film. It looks interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
and Snowpiercer. Yeah, you're right. He wrote Snowpiercer.
Oh, did he do Snowpiercer? Okay, so
Yep,
he did.
yep,
He's
yep,
connected with
yep,
that world,
yep,
right?
yep, yep,
Okay,
yep, yep.
so Oscar winner. You've got
Hmm.
obviously Robert Pattinson. His star has. It's interesting, right? Because there was, and even I thought this as well. I thought the guy from Twilight. I
Hmm.
thought, oh, let's pigeonhole him in that box. He does those teen movies or whatever. But then he kind of had this weird kind of shift. He was like, oh, I'm going to work with David
Yeah,
Cronenberg. I'm going to do
yeah.
this movie. I'm going to do that movie. He starts kind of doing these things. And you can't pigeonhole him. And you think, oh, he's going to be a superhero movie. But no, he's doing stuff like this. So it's quite interesting.
Mm.
All right.
Mm.
Okay, cool. And what do we reckon for a release date, Deval? It's not this
Not
year,
just
is
what
it?
we reckon, what I know.
Mm.
31st of January,
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
2025. Yeah, so a few months' time.
Few months time. All right, keep it
Mm.
locked with us, and we'll bring you more on that one. Now, this trailer I did see, Devaldo, and this looks like a madness because it's produced by Sam Raimi. So obviously you got the Evil Dead kind of
Mhm.
history there. You've got Doctor Strange kind of there, and kind of this horror vibe going on to it, almost like a body horror-ish type of a thing going on as well. But
Mm.
this trailer, Devaldo, is mad. Yeah, break it down for us.
Yeah, this seems like a horror film where it could be real life. So
Mm,
this is the way the trailer is, but it's Netflix as well, by the way, a Netflix
yeah,
film. The way it is that someone's been kidnapped and they've been put in the middle of a forest, just random, and they've been drugged with a sedative or some sort of chemical that is going to make them paralyzed in 15 minutes, I think, or
yeah,
a certain amount of time. And I think as soon as they wake up, they're told how much time they've got, and they're told, okay, by minute 2 this will happen.
yeah,
You'll feel pins and needles. By minute 5 you'll lose movement in your hands, or
yeah.
in minutes 10 your legs will give, and by minute 12 you're breathing, like, so that how long you've got before you're
Mm,
totally sort of gone. And within that time, I think someone's hunting you down.
yeah.
So it's this looks
That's
like a
mad.
really, really insidious, dangerous, crazy
Cat and
type of
mouse.
thriller, yeah, horror. And it's called Don't Move because by the end of that time, you can't move. So I think this person, a bit like Saw, they kidnap people and then put them in situations where
Toying with them.
exactly. So this looks interesting. This is coming out in October
Yeah.
25th on Netflix.
This time
So
next
not
month,
long.
roundabout.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
Mm.
going to watch that one actually.
Mm.
And it's great the fact that these interesting movies. There was a bit in there where well, like they keep like showing her bits where she's lying down in different positions and she can't move, and I'm like, where is she? How
Mm.
is she getting like to all these different
Mm.
places? This is
Mhm.
some madness. So I'm intrigued. I want to find out what happens to this person. So that is called Don't Move, and I quickly snuck in a trailer that I want to speak about. This is called The Radleys.
Mm.
And you have Divaldo, kind of your typical vampire movie, like we know the tropes now, like vampire. We know that kind of the bloodsuckers.
Mm.
They have a hunting, the cat and mouse type of a thing as well. This one, I think it subverts the whole kind of genre a little bit. So we've got what's his name again? Oh, he's a British actor.
Damian
We've got
Lewis.
Damian Lewis, and
Mm.
so he's got a double role basically. So he plays the father, the figurehead of a family, but he also plays an uncle as well. And so this family, they're living out in some kind of secluded area. The
Mm.
daughter is being harassed by someone. So the trailer kind of you see she's being harassed. The guy harassing her doesn't know that basically a vampire. So she
Mm.
kills him, sucks his blood. She doesn't know what's going on because the powers just come out of her, like the vampireness has come out of her. And then the mum and dad are like, look, we've tried to keep this from you, but we are vampires. So they're a family of vampires that have kind of tried to stay hidden. And this is where it starts to get interesting. There's a police investigation. They have to try and cover it up. So they bring in the uncle, who is also played by Damian Lewis. And this uncle is super powerful. He can obviously do mind control, mind tricks, but he's also starts to manipulate and control the family as well. So initially you're thinking, oh, this is kind of like a comedy horror, but then it starts turning into kind of like a psychological horror drama.
Mm.
This person's coming along and he's kind of manipulating everyone, and he's getting into the head of the mother, the son. So it looks really interesting, really different. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So this is going to be
Mm.
coming out um I'll tell you right now.
November
But yeah, it's coming out in November.
14th. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward
Okay.
to it. But I mean, I don't know. The thing is, it also stars Sophia Di Martino. She was Loki in Loki.
Oh, yes, 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 yeah, because she's English,
She's a
isn't she?
variant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a
Northern.
variant. And she kind of
Mm.
so yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. So I wonder um oh, they're actually going to show it on Sky Cinema as well.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So it's a movie, not a series.
It's a movie.
Okay, 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 cool. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one, and hopefully that'll pop up somewhere along. So,
Mm,
and who doesn't like a good vampire movie anyway? All
of
right, okay,
course.
let's do anniversary corner. So let's go back 15 years to this movie, which is still like it gets spoken about so much. Divaldo in
Mm.
kind of in those lists of movies, which are like I don't know what kind of list would you put this on? It's not because it wasn't banned, but it was.
Mm.
It's like one of those movies which are kind of like sickening, and I don't know,
Body
like
horror.
body
It's
horror.
shocking. It's disgusting. It's banned in certain countries.
Yeah,
It's it's just nasty. Video Nasty. That's what it would have been called back in the day,
That's
isn't
it.
it?
Back in the days, it would have been a video nasty. So this was
Mm.
2009, 15 years ago. This is the Human Centipede.
Mm.
And it's just like, so if you haven't seen the movie, you might think of this, oh, what's this movie? And you might do a bit of reading up on it. And there's so many work pages and pages and
Mm.
pages online. You can read about this and, you know, it's got this issue, that issue, and this issue. But it's a Dutch film. And the Dutch, David Cronenberg, no, he's not Dutch, is he, David Cronenberg?
No, I don't think so.
Paul Verhoeven, he's Dutch. And
Yeah.
I think there was kind of like this kind of period where Dutch horror, where they kind of flirted around with this, with see if they can kind of push the boundaries with these movies and stuff. And this guy, who's it? What's the guy's director's name?
Tom
Directed by
Six.
Tom Six. What a
Yeah.
name, Tom Six. Released in 2009. It's from the Netherlands, and check this out. According to Wikipedia, the concept arose from a joke he had made with friends about punishing a child molester by stitching his mouth to the anus of a fat truck driver.
Mm. Why a fat truck driver? Because they know it's just like burgers and bacon and hot dogs and Coke
Wet
and sausages
ass.
and
Oh
all that kind of
gosh.
food is going to come out in.
So this is the director letting us know where this concept came from. And it's interesting that he used the word anus, because in this movie, without giving too much away, there's a scene. I mean, it's just the thing that he creates, Devaldo. Even to this day, I can't get my head around it. And he's working on kind of splice. Is it gene splicing, or is he kind of trying to create the next evolution of humans or something? And it's actually called the Human Centipede first sequence.
Exactly. So they've got more plans, yeah? They've got other sequences planned. Oh.
A kind of a plot to create the next evolution of the human, and where he's joining in splicing genes and whatnot. And oh man, it reminded me of the Boys. Devaldo very recently, The Boys.
I think even The Boys is like Disney compared to this. During the audition process and stuff like that,
man.
the director Tom Six showed a picture to the actresses of what he's hoping to do, and many of them walked out in disgust. They didn't even imagine you're auditioning to be in a role, you want the job, and you see what the director's putting together,
What
and
he's planning.
you're so disgusted from it, you walk out and you're like, "Nah, I can't do this."
Exactly.
That goes to show.
No money, no fame is worth.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Oh
Nasty.
my, it's bad, isn't it?
Nasty. Yeah, it's just sick. But it's a film that you need to watch. I mean, it's words can't put it into.
I know.
We can't describe it. And if you know what kind of company this film keeps, when you go to IMDb and you put it down, the next it says more films like this. You got the Human Centipede 2, which I think is actually slightly more disturbing because the man in it, it's in black and white as well. The man in it is sick. He's the sort of guy Tom Six thought of as the person who's the paedophile. Yeah, so he's sick. Okay, so you got Human Centipede 1, 2. You got a Serbian film.
Which was banned. Yeah, I've heard about this one. This one is
Serbian. I've seen it. Seriously. A Serbian film it's a nonsense film that doesn't really make much sense, but it's sick. The things that happen in that film it should be banned because you can't put babies and stuff. There's certain things you just can't, and they do it in this film.
I know they do it in the movie. Yeah, I don't even think you can probably get it in some places.
Nah, you can't. You shouldn't. And then Hannibal Holocaust, which is another sick film. Hannibal's
video nasty.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Holocaust.
Cannibalism in this, and when it first came out, people thought it was real. It's that bad, yeah. And then you got Martyrs, the original Canadian French film, which I think is one of the worst films ever made.
Yeah, I heard about this.
But that's sort of companies this film keeps. So that just lets you know.
Exactly. So go check it out, and it fits in a way. It fits in with the kind of one of the main movies that we're going to be speaking about, which is called The Substance. So this is a new release, brand new release. And so Deval went out and watched this. He had the pleasure of watching this one, and so yeah, take it away, Deval.
Oh my gosh, where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? The substance. When you first hear of the substance, what do you think?
Like drugs.
Exactly. You think of a drug of some sort, something like that. And the substance is that. So I'm
Mm,
not gonna I'm not gonna do this film too much. I don't want to do too much talking about this.
mm,
Not too much. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm going to break down first of all who's in it.
yeah,
Okay, so you've got Demi Moore, and then you've got Margaret Qualley,
yeah,
and you've got Dennis Quaid. They're the three main people. Demi Moore is the main person. She stars as Elizabeth Barkle, who is a sort of elderly, if I can say, or experienced, I should say, actress who, in Hollywood, got a Hollywood star. She's been around for years. She's done really,
mm,
really well. But it's sort of like the sort of latter end of her career. And just like it is in Hollywood, there's huge expectations for how people look.
yeah,
Huge expectations. And she's suffering with that because she's now getting phased out of jobs because they want a younger model.
mm,
And she feels it, and she's really saddened by it, her confidence, everything. She's just, Dennis Quaid plays a person called Harvey Weinstein. Is it Weinstein or Weinstein?
yeah.
Weinstein. Yeah.
Weinstein,
So
yes,
he's very obnoxious. He's very loud. He's very blunt. He's kind of her boss,
right,
and he makes her feel like she's unwanted. So that's the kind of thing that's going on there.
yeah,
Margaret Qualley. Anyway, I'll come to Margaret Qualley. But so the film's about a substance. Demi Moore feels like she's got her career's going down the pan. She's too old. She looks in the mirror. She sees her face is kind of, and she looks in great shape. Don't get me wrong.
mm,
Like as she is, like that's yeah, she's in great shape. I'm not even going to
yeah,
say for her age. I'm going to say just in general.
yeah,
Yeah, but still, she feels she's not. She's really, her confidence is low. It's being made low by society, her boss, all of
yeah,
that. And then she has a car accident.
mm,
So I wasn't going to spoil it too much. Sorry. She has a car accident and she goes to the hospital. And while she's there, she's fine. But then someone gives her a message saying, like, call us. You're
right,
a great candidate. She thinks, for what? And it says the substance on it. And then she calls them eventually. And long story short, is she goes and gets the substance. She goes and gets it from this really shady place,
yeah,
comes back, and she reads the instructions, and it says it's really, really strict. You got to follow the instructions.
yeah,
It tells you to do A, B, C, D. You have to do it.
yep.
She does it, and then yeah, and then Margaret Qualley comes.
Is it?
Margaret Qualley is the younger version of her. Like she looks like she's
Oh shit.
25 years old, half her
Yeah,
age, and yeah, she's just, and even before, if I go back a little bit, this film is all about image. So
yeah.
from the get go, Demi Moore, we see her starkers.
Mm,
She's in the mirror, and some of the scenes look the colors are fantastic and just pop
yeah,
out. The fashion, the costume,
yep,
and in Demi Moore's apartment, there's big mirrors and lots of lighting, and she lives by herself. She's got no family, but her mirrors are massive. And when
mm,
she's in the mirror, sometimes she's standing there, starkers. When I say
mm,
starkers, you've seen everything,
everything, shit.
everything, head to
Mm.
toe.
Oh,
You've seen her like bum, her fanny,
yeah.
tits. It's just, you're like,
You're like,
wow, this
what?
is
This
this
is
is shocking to
she's
see.
on full.
Like
Like she's putting it out there.
full, like I
Mm,
say, she's in great shape. Like
mm,
literally, do you know what I mean? So no complaints. Uh, but then she has complaints because of the industry she's in. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, so she takes the substance, and Margaret Qualley comes out, and again, she's like half her age. She's just, again, you see everything.
Oh, is it? But when you say she
Yeah.
comes out, like what? She goes to bed and
I'm
then
not
she
gonna
wakes up
say.
the next
I'm
day.
not gonna say. I'm not gonna
Oh
say.
shit.
But this is a body horror film, and
Okay, I
things
get ya.
are blatant in your face. Special effects are minimal, and there's lots of practical effects in this, which I
Is
like.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well, it
good.
looks practical, but yeah, it's crazy. It's
Mm.
crazy. She comes out and her body is just everything's just
Like
like yeah,
they're perfect,
there.
like fit, young,
She
like, you
has
know.
worked out. She had to
Yeah.
because she's full. Everything's there again, full.
Yeah.
Like nothing's hiding.
Wow.
Nothing's hiding. So she comes out now, and then the sort of job Demi Moore was doing, she was doing some sort of fitness video, fitness
Mm.
workouts and all that. So she takes over as the new
Mm.
girl doing that. I mean, I've never seen a film with so much butt shots in my life. Never,
Oh my
never.
gosh.
This film focuses on body. Like it looks
Yes.
there, there,
Yeah.
there, like
There.
everywhere. Like fanny, bum, everything gets looked at. And while she's working
Damn.
out, you've seen her like full, like proper light, and she's just smiling, she's flirting and all that with the screen
Yeah.
while she's working out. All the people working out as well, and
And
she's the
looking as
big new
well.
star. Yeah, everyone's like Hollywood great looking. She's the big new star.
Mm.
So this happens for a while. This happens. There's rules. I'm not gonna say what the rules are. I don't want to spoil it,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
there's rules. So like they're doing their thing.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
I'll say one rule is it's 1 week on, 1 week off. So Demi Moore
Oh,
can be out for a week, and then Margaret Qualley can be out for a week. They can't be both there at the same time.
same
That's
time.
the rule.
Oh
Yeah. So
shit.
it's switching, 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 switching.
Yeah.
But no one else knows what's going on. It's a bit of a weird world. It's a bit of a weird world. I don't know
Yeah.
how it
Yeah. Yeah.
works, but basically, you can imagine people want more than a week.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say. People want
Oh.
more than a week. I'm not going to say who ruins it, but somebody ruins it. And the
Yes.
rules are if you take more from one, the other will pay
Oh.
the price.
Price.
Yeah. So when one takes more, even if it's half an hour, if it's 1 hour, when other person comes, something's changed.
Oh, this is bad
Something has
news.
changed. So that's what happens, and things get out of control.
Yep.
Things get crazy out of control. I'm not going to say how it ends, but what
Mm.
I will say, this film is a big, big message on vanity, on
Yep.
social pressures, especially with women in Hollywood. I know with men
Mm.
it's different, and what is deemed as beautiful, the pressures that you need to keep
Look
up with the
good.
looks, and you got to do stuff to. There's even a guy in this Demi Moore. She sees her old school friend, and
Yeah.
he's loved her from school. He's like, "Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. You've always been beautiful, as
Mm.
she is."
Yeah.
He says that, even she doesn't believe it.
Is it?
She doesn't believe it. He asks to go out with her, and she finally agrees. And there's a scene where she can't even leave the house because she doesn't think she's beautiful enough.
Damn.
And it's just a madness, and how she goes into depression. There's some
Mm.
serious messaging behind this.
Big time.
The film is over 2 hours long, and
Mm.
it takes its time. And I'm not doing I'm not doing a massive review because
Yeah.
I saw this after seeing one trailer. Best way
Yeah.
to see it.
So you go in without knowing much about it.
Yeah, trust. That's why I don't want to say too much. But
Yeah.
this film, visually, stylistically, this is a top film. This is
Yeah.
a good film, directed by a lady,
Yep.
Coraline Farge.
Mm.
She also directed Revenge, which was a good film.
Yep.
That was a film about a lady who had been
Like
abused, I
rape,
think.
abused.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
so, yeah. And then
Yeah.
she takes revenge on the people that abused her.
Yep.
Really good film. So she's uh, done that. That was like 7 years ago. That's the
Yeah.
last film
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
done. So yeah, she's a good director. This film is a powerful film. It's not everyone's
Mm.
going to like it, but it's got 8 out of 10 on IMDb, which is hard to get after
That's hard.
5,000 reviews.
That's a lot as
But
well.
yeah, this is a really good body horror film. Like I'm sure Cronenberg is loving it. I'm sure they're
Yeah.
all that. This is a good film. Like you got to watch this. That's all I can say. I'm
Oh
gonna leave
man.
it there. I'm leaving
Yeah.
it there. Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's
because
it. We've
we've
put it
got
out there. It's
another
out.
film to do.
We're gonna watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
See, it's made you speechless.
I'm just trying to think. Like we don't. From the sound of it, we don't get a lot of these types of movies though, right? Where it's
Oh,
taking. It reminds me of the circle of no, the triangle of sadness. You know where that kind of
oh, yes,
in
yes.
the
There's a
sense that there's
message.
a
Yes,
message
yep.
in there and about how we
Hmm.
are as a society and everything like that.
Yep,
So it sounds kind of like that as
yep,
well, but it's
yep,
kind of
yep, yep,
more of
yep.
a horror type
Mm,
of a
mm.
message in there as well. Brilliant. So go check that out, folks. That's out right now in your local cinema. Go check it out. That's called The Substance. And if you do watch it, let us know and give us your take on it. So message us on
Mm.
YouTube, message us on Instagram, whatever, and let us know if you thought it was a good movie. Now, Devout, have we got time to do one
Yeah,
more?
yeah, yeah.
All right, I'll whiz through this one. Yeah, I want to speak about this one because like you kind of mentioned about women and like in society and about this kind of image and everything like that. This movie, I say movie, but it's kind of it's a documentary, but the way they've actually put it together, it does almost feel kind of like a movie.
Mm.
And there's a reason why I say that, and I'll come to that in a moment. This is called The Lie. This is a documentary that's out on Netflix.
Mm.
This past weekend, I kind of did this whole kind of true crime binging. I caught up on, finished up with
Mm.
My Worst Ever Ex. And then when I finished watching that, it was like this thing came up. They said, oh, if you like that, then you're going to like this. So I started reading about it. So this is called The Lie. And it's a true crime story. So it's about a British backpacker, Grace. She was 21 at the time. She took a gap year out, and she traveled to Peru, South America first, spent a bit of time over there. And after she had kind of, traveled around Peru, she decided to go to New Zealand. And so, this young person, 21 years old, and in the UK, this is a lot of people do this. A lot of people do that. I mean, I did it. A lot of people do it. They take a gap year out. They go out traveling. Want to explore, kind of meet different people, travel.
Mm.
Soak up the culture, and then come back. And because you kind of want to have this kind of moment before you get into kind of grown up life. Get into work and start paying bills and all that sort of stuff. So, from what we see from the documentary, she was like a loving person, came from a really nice family, Essex family, two brothers, the mum and dad, and she was really loved, really cared for. So she ends up in New Zealand. She's out and about, and we've after um her 22nd birthday. So she went out celebrating her 22nd birthday. She she goes missing. And then, her parents are messaging her, and you see all the actual messages
Mm.
because this is a recent kind of story. So law enforcement, they have access to kind of the technology now. You can go into mobile phones and you can get kind
Mm.
of records of what was said and what wasn't said and all that. So the documentary shows us the mom and dad messaging her saying, oh, happy birthday, hope you're having a great time, message us when you can, etc., etc. So one day goes past, 2 days go past, brothers are messaging her, friends are messaging her. She was a YouTuber, she was big on social media, people are messaging
Mm.
her. 3 days pass, 4 days pass, and the family get in touch with the embassy in New Zealand, and they're like, okay, we need to start opening up an investigation. And then you start to know straight away when you're watching it, obviously something's bad happened to her. What the conclusion is. She's died somewhere. That straight away when you watch it. But
Mm.
what's amazing about this is the movie or the documentary, they piece together her last few moments. And London is one of the most CCTV'd like city in the world. Auckland, exactly the same, Devaldo. They have
Mm.
a lot of CCTV footage,
Yeah.
and through this CCTV footage, we get to see exactly what happened to her, where she
Mm.
went, who she met up with, where did she go, what time she went there. All this stuff gets kind of put together. And she met someone. She meets an older guy on Tinder. They meet up, they have a few drinks, and after that point she goes missing. So this guy, he gets called in for questioning, and he's like, look, I met up with her, we had a few drinks at the bar, she went off that way, and I go off the other way. And then we start to kind of, the story starts to unravel. This guy's lying. The police uncover what he did, how he did it, and I'm telling you, Devaldo, it's just heartbreaking, man. It's like there's serious dangerous people out there, and he comes in for questioning and he lies through his teeth. This guy
Mm.
lies through his teeth. And in my head, I'm thinking, doesn't he know about the footage, the camera footage and everything like that, right? But the police have got him by the balls. And then they piece together what happened and like what he did to this young girl called Grace. And I'm telling you, man, it's the most heartless, callous, uh, like what's the word? He in his defense, he uses as a defense in his court trial, in his trial, and he said she wanted rough sex.
That's what they say because they know
Exactly.
they can't get away with what's being done. So they're trying to manipulate the what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the person's intent, like to say
Exactly.
it was by accident.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's kind of trying to shift the blame on her. Like she
yeah,
wanted rough sex. She wanted to be
mm,
treated in this way. And then it was an accident that went wrong. And I'm not going to kind
mm,
of get into kind of like what happens to him at the end and everything.
mm,
But, this whole thing about kind of, in society about the women and whether or not we believe them and kind
mm.
of, do we take them seriously? And there was kind of like a bit in there, they mentioned a bit about like kind of the backlash that she got as well
Is
because
it?
she was like there a lot of people were online, the trolls, those
Mm,
keyboard kind
uh,
of warriors, which are like, oh, why
mm,
did she go out and meet him, why did she do this and why did she do that, why did she go back to his hotel room and why was she
mm.
doing this. And there's all this footage because you see on the footage exactly what happens to her and what she does and everything like that, but it takes away from the fact that he's a monster.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly.
Where it's like they're looking at her, but what about him?
Mm, mm.
She never chose to be treated in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
exactly, exactly.
And it's just what this guy does and how he tries to cover his tracks. It's like a movie, man. And I say
Mm,
movies because we see everything that he does, where he goes, what he tries to get rid of, what evidence he tries to kind of cover up. Getting into the car and going there and going there. Man, I'm telling you, it is a brilliant watch. If you love your true crime,
mm.
then this is right up there because there's a kind of a story in there as well, like about
Yeah,
going away on backpacking and just kind of
yeah,
enjoying
yeah.
life,
Mm.
and then this shit happens to you. So you know
Gosh.
man, it's crazy. Just some people, you got to be careful out there,
Mm.
and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen to guys, it does,
Mm,
but in
mm.
the majority of these
Not in
cases,
this.
Deval,
Not like yeah. It's
it,
more the women that suffer.
it's the women that suffer.
Definitely, yeah.
It's the women that
There's
suffer, man.
predators out there, and they use these dating apps because it's easier for them to find people as well. So sometimes because they've always been there, it's just
Yeah,
now they've got a resource to actually find people.
yeah.
So yeah, it's
And
crazy out
and
there,
it was
you
just
know.
it was great. I loved the way that the police, they catch him though.
Mm,
Like the way that they kind of meticulously
mm,
kind of build up this story. Like he was here, you were here, but you said that, and but look at this
mm,
evidence over here, and
mm,
then goes to trial and everything, and yeah, it's really different. So if you got an hour and a half
mm,
this weekend or whatever, watch it. Flixters, listen. If you listen to this one, go check it out. It's called The Lie. It's on
mm,
Netflix, and it's definitely worth a watch. An eye
mm,
opener.
nice one. I think I'm definitely going to
Yeah,
watch that one.
yeah.
Definitely,
All right,
definitely.
okay. And that is the end of this week's episode. We really, really hope you enjoyed it. Keep it locked with the Flixters, folks, because we've got more stuff coming at you. Yeah. See you on the
Yeah,
next
next
one.
week we got mega. I can't never say it. Megapolis,
Oh, yes. Uh,
megalopolis.
Meloga.
Adam,
Yeah, you say it, Deval.
megalopolis. I think it's called. Adam Driver's in it.
Yes.
It's that big fantastical kind of film.
Kind of, yeah. Francis Ford Coppola, his
That's
movie
the
that he
one.
hasn't made in
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
decades.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. So that's next
Um,
week. That's
that's
next
next
week.
week. Brilliant. All
Mm.
right, okay. Go check those movies out.